you represent Hezbollah in Parliament. You are an MP. And so I want to ask you, in the context of really heightened tensions and military activity across the border with Israel, there's a growing concern, obviously, that this war could spread. How would you characterize the risk of a major war right now between Hezbollah and Israel?
Well, ever since the eruption of the conflict and the hostilities of the Israelis after the 7th of October, and after the engagement between Hezbollah and the Israeli enemy, we have stuck to certain rules all of the time that we targeted the military positions of the Israelis, especially in the occupied areas in Lebanon. Then there has been an escalation from the Israeli side, and then we have put a formula that every time the Israeli enemy escalates the situation, we would escalate equally and above. And this is the things has gone so far. I believe we are not on the advent of any kind of a comprehensive war or open war. The Israelis don't want that. The Lebanese don't want that. Even the regional and the international powers do not want that. Maybe Netanyahu himself wants this kind of comprehensive breakout of the front, with trying to bring the Americans to engage directly into the conflict. But according to my estimations and our understanding, it's not in anybody's interest to go to an all-out war.
So that's really interesting, because the IDF last week killed a senior Hezbollah commander in the south of Lebanon. And as you said, each time we have something, we respond equal and higher. And Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, said, if war is imposed, the resistance will fight without constraints, rules, or limits. What exactly is he saying? Is he making a threat?
Yes, it is a threat. Yes, it is a warning. Yes, it is an indicative to the whole world that if the Israelis are going to impose a war, and this will put the equation on its proper place, we are reacting to a hostility. We are responding to an action, and we are retaliating to an attack or to a kind of assassination or targeting our peoples and our area. That's why from the very beginning we are making the price very high on the Israeli enemy not to go into any kind of risk of this kind.
Mm-hmm. Now, some Western estimates, and you've probably seen the press accounts, say that Hezbollah has about 150,000 rockets and missiles, quite sophisticated, and that they might even overwhelm the equally sophisticated Israeli Iron Dome defense in a first round. Do you think that's true?
I can assure you that we have enough arsenal, we have enough ammunition, we have enough rockets, missiles, whatever it takes in order to respond in a very effective way against any Israeli aggression, against any Israeli major hostility against our people, against our land. This is something that Hezbollah has done long time ago. This is something that I want to draw the attention because of the failure of the international community to address the Palestinian crisis in a good way, because of this unleashed power of the Israelis to destroy, to kill children, to kill women, to destroy this major magnitude of destruction in Gaza. This is an indication of the failure of the international community, of the Security Council, of the United Nations to find just solutions to the problems that are there. So that's why we have accumulated enough expertise and enough missiles and rockets and ammunition to make retaliation and to make any kind of adventure from the Israeli side a very costly one.
So as you know, and you alluded to this, Lebanon just doesn't want another war. The Prime Minister doesn't want it. The Lebanese people don't want it. So many people are urging you, Hezbollah, not to pursue a war. And I remember covering the 2006 war, and Israel attacked, in response, etc., right inside to Beirut, and it was devastation, and it took a long, long time to rebuild. And 80% of Lebanese are living in poverty right now. Why would Hezbollah invite more damage to your own country, to your own people, and you're a political party as well? What's in it for you?
You have to see the two perspectives. It's not only one way, one front. we are responding to an attack. I have to remind you and those who are following up that still parts of our land is occupied. Many places, many ambitions of the Israelis against our oil, against our water, against our soil. They never responded, and they never made the international resolutions materialize. They never put it in practice. The 425, which was like the resolution by the international community, by the United Nations, it was not put into effect, but because of the resistance. And again, any kind of resolutions is not being respected or is not being applied by the Israelis. That's why we need to defend ourselves. We are not inviting a war. With our deterrence force, we are filling a gap, and we are telling the Israelis in a very strong way that this is going to cost you so much, and this is a deterrent for an all-out war rather than inviting it. Nobody wants to see a war. We all hate the war. We know that war would invite havoc and destruction, and many people would be killed. But at the same time, you see, I see, everybody sees what they are doing in Gaza. This is a kind of genocide. This is a kind of apartheid. This is a kind of destruction that was unparalleled, unprecedented in the history. Gaza is enough of a witness for what kind of brutality, hostility, and genocidal war the Israelis are waging.
So, you use the word genocide. Obviously, Israel disagrees with that, although many in the Arab world do use that word, but Israel rejects that.
According to law, the criminal law, they are exercising genocide against the Palestinian people.
The South Africans have brought a case alleging that nothing has been adjudicated. The ICC has brought a case accusing them of crimes against humanity and war crimes, not genocide. But let's just move away from that term, because I need to ask you, on October the 8th...
This is not genocide. What is genocide then?
I'm not having a semantic argument right now with you, Mr. Moussaoui. What I want to ask you is this.
I understand. I respect that.
All right, I appreciate it. But I want to ask you about some of the stuff you've said. So, about 9 months ago, October 7th happened. Even Yahya Sinwar, allegedly, according to leaked intercepts by the Wall Street Journal, said he didn't expect that amount of civilian killing inside by the various groups inside Israel. But on October 8th, you said Palestine had never witnessed glorious victories like the one we are witnessing today. And you have apparently posted some inflammatory things, including an anti-Semitic image of an Israeli baby drinking the blood of Palestinians. And again, back in 2002, it was reported that you said Jews were a lesion on the forehead of history. So you talk about humanity. Do you stand by those words, or do you accept that the humanity of those Israeli civilians was also attacked?
Well, let me put it this way. This is a decontextualization. I didn't say that. I didn't say Jews is the legion of the history, and I defended myself many times. And I take your platform, your CNN, to say I've never said that. I said what the Israeli occupation is doing is a stain in the forehead of humanity. This is what I said. I didn't say anything about Jews. I have many Jewish friends. I invited Jewish rabbis to Lebanon 2005. And 2004, and I have friends who were in Manchester, in Britain. I invited them here. I have nothing against the Jews. We have nothing against the Jews. There are many Jews who are anti-Zionists, and they are not supporting Israel. So I make a very clear discrimination and differentiation. This is one thing. I never said that they drank the blood of the children or whatever. This is again something that has been put in my mouth. What I say clearly, in a very responsible way, and publicly. I never take my words that I said. And if I made any wrong, I'll say I made a mistake. But both allegations are complete allegations and fabrications that I didn't say.
What about on October 8th, when you said Palestine had never witnessed glorious victories like the one we're witnessing today?
Absolutely, yes, of course. This is something that I said, but you talked something else about blood, baby.
No, these were three things I put to you.
Yes, okay. Now, as for the 7th of October, yes, the kind of humiliation that has been put to the Israeli military, to the Israeli might, to those who couldn't find anyone in the international community to stop them. Yes, it was a victory for the Palestinians. Anyway, things are by their results. Everything is good if it ends good. We don't like wars. We hate wars. We don't want to see destruction and killing, but we want to see justice taking its place. What happened was a kind of restoration to the justice by bringing the Palestinian cause back to the lights in the eyes of the international community. What would you call this kind of awakeness of the elite and the students and the academics in Britain, in France, in the United States itself, when they saw after this long time of brainwashing, they were able to see they want to see Palestine free, and they are supporting the freedom of Palestine. I believe what happened then, because Israel depends solely on its military machine, this killing machine, yes, it was a victory to the Palestinian cause, and we have to wait and see the results that will come and the results that will unfold in the future before we make rushy conclusions.
I would like to ask you just to tell me whether you are able to distinguish between civilians, women and children and kids who were massacred and whatever military force that you're talking about. Can you make that distinction? Because without that, there is no peace. There's no room for anything.
We have never targeted civilians. And you know that the Israelis are well known for their litany of massacres against the people. I can mention scores of massacres in Lebanon. I remind you about Sabra and Shatira. I remind you about Kana. I remind you about Mansouri. I can tell you scores of massacres that the Israelis have done. And now you know they support it. I mean, it's there. They are publicly saying that they want to get rid of all of the Palestinians. They are the Goyim, according to them. For us, we have targeted and we continue to target the military might of the Israelis and the military personnel.
Okay.
We only respond when they target our civilians.